Hello, I'm Mantastic'c and Fantastic, and today I want to talk about the new evolutions and upgrades that have just gone live in North America. So I'm always excited when things get buffed or have new evolutions because it gives the possibility that new life is breathed into these older cards that may or may not have been collecting dust in your monster box. And the first card to get some love this time around is Zela. Or Zela, I'm not quite sure, but in her new evolution, she sports triple 10 combo, a VDP, 4 skill boost, lacking bind immunity, has an incredibly high HP stat, and a pretty cool evolving active skill. So with evolving active skills, the way it works is after 18 turn cooldown, or like having 18 skill boosts, you are able to utilize this first active skill, which is changing the whole board to wood and hearts and giving you a 80% damage reduction for 2 turns. So 80% damage reduction is a pretty large amount of damage reduction. So there's a strong possibility that this could potentially function as a 2 effective skill boost active skill, because if you can tank the hits, well, you're not dying and you're charging up other actives. And then after that, it becomes a 2-turn cooldown that gives you a board unlock and creates 4 wood and 4 hard orbs at random. So this is quite exciting because with a 2-turn cooldown, you could potentially inherit something over top of it or rely on this for orb generation while also counteracting locked orbs. And remember, she has a VDP triple 10 combo, so does hit for meaningful amounts of damage, especially when you factor in the fact that she can have an extra VDP through Super Awakenings, which will catapult her personal damage up to quite spectacular levels. So obviously, this is great on mono wood style teams. If you do take the VDP Super Awakening, you want to make sure she's bind immune, but it's a pretty solid card all around. In theory, this leader skill is also alright. The attack multiplier is definitely in the lower end, but it's kind of like playing Nautilus without Nautilus. Their active skill doesn't guarantee 6 wood orbs, which is obviously kind of annoying. It doesn't have auto follow attack, but maybe if you have this and you don't have a Nautilus, maybe you want a pair of a Nautilus, maybe. Either way, I think it can be a powerful mono wood sub. For upgrades to existing Godfest exclusive weapon assists, all of the ones that were only giving 1 turn of haste, such as Seawolf's active skill, no, I don't know why it's jumping around, but Seawolf's active skill through his weapon assist now gives you 2 turns of haste. It was 1 turn of haste, which is kind of underwhelming. 2 turns is kind of what we really want at this point in time, so it's nice that it's kind of been brought up to that level. Nautilus in one of their forms gets a better leader skill in their transitional. I don't really know what exactly changed, but I'm just going to assume that you're maybe a little tankier. But then Nautilus in their final transformation form gains triple typing. Their awakenings got changed in some way, and I don't quite know how, unfortunately, but I believe they lost some sort of offensive awakening and gained even more attack stat, which I guess is cool. Like, you lose a 7 combo, you gain double attack stat. You technically didn't lose out on anything, and then something new was put here, which I can't quite tell. And then the leader skill, I believe the attack multiplier is a bit higher because everything else looks the same from what I can remember. So a higher attack multiplier is definitely nice. It can possibly mean that Nautilus can punch a little bit more nicely in these super gravity dungeons. And then, like I mentioned, the weapon assist for these watches or transforming robots, they now give at least 2 turns of haste through their active skills. So again, a VDP, Rose, and bind immunity. You slap this on the Zela I talked about earlier, woo, her personal damage is catapulting through the roof when you match that beautiful VDP. Blackbird's timepiece, again, same idea, 2 turns of haste. It's obviously going to make your life much easier for these mono dark teams that need some blind resist and bind immunity and a bunch of passive damage. More haste is always nice. Artorias has been changed, if I'm not mistaken, to have 34 star rarity or less. So this is kind of similar to like Seawolf Daytona and Naughty Oak in the sense that you need to have rarity cards that have certain amounts, so to speak. And for Artorias, you need to have 34 or less. So remember, any of these cards that care about leader or like monster rarity only cares about your leader as well as your subs. Your friend's leader has no implication on this whatsoever. So Artorias, when he does transform, has 8 stars. So 34 minus 8 is 26. So between 4 subs, you need to find cards that equal to 26 or less rarity. And that can be obviously a little bit of a challenge because you only have 6.5 stars per sub. So you're definitely going to have to use cards with significantly less star rarity in order to, utilize like these higher rarity cards, which can be possibly a little annoying. Their active skill and leader skill, like, the leader skill still doesn't give auto follow attack, so I feel like you're going to have to definitely pair with someone that does, or it's going to be kind of awkward, but it's just kind of like a red row. Maybe you could make some blob style leader. They do have respectable personal damage, but I feel like they're just in a bit of an awkward place. But their weapon assist, if I'm not mistaken, gives you one more fire row or two. I don't recall, but I know it had the 7 combo. I know it had the fire sub attribute beforehand, but more is more. The active skill is, I believe, giving significantly more combos for 7 turns. This is actually quite spicy because there are instances where you need to have multiple bonus combos for a prolonged period of time. And with 7 turns of bonus combos, you're going to have great flexibility in that sense, along with, a useful set of awakenings, especially for mono fire teams. And the 100% shield is never going to be a bad thing, as well as the fact that this particular card gets 5 times attack buff for that 7 turns as well. For Succubus or Siren and Lilith, they received a buff to their active skill. I never owned this card, so I kind of don't quite remember exactly what changed, but maybe they make more hard orbs, or maybe the active skill multiplier is improved. I don't quite know. Pat is definitely notorious for not giving you sufficient amounts of information. Like, how much does it increase by? I don't know. Maybe it greatly reduces damage for a while. I've seen that active skill and it hurts my soul a little bit. For their leader skill, again, I don't quite remember what it is, but maybe it's a slightly higher health multiplier or an attack multiplier. Everything else, I think, looks kind of similar. But yeah, it's just another option for your Siren and Lilith. And then for their weapon assist, this weapon assist I do see quite often on New Year's Ferals, and I do appreciate my friends who have their blue weapon assist because it gives you skill boost, double team HP, 2 enhanced water orbs, and now, if I'm not mistaken, an enhanced hard orb awakening. I'm pretty sure that's different, but OEs have definitely become significantly more helpful with all the negative orbs floating around. Like, orb enhances help you counteract all that negativity because we don't need that in our lives. For their other weapon assist, I don't really recall seeing this on many different people at this point in time, and I don't quite know what changed. I'm going to guess there's more orb enhances. I could be wrong, but it's nice that things get buffed, of course. And then Zela, in her form that no one really quite uses, I believe, receives some buffs to Awakenings. Got a weird mix of Awakenings. Got a bit of everything, kind of. But I don't quite know. I think their newest weapon is their new form, and their weapon assist tends to be their most exciting forms. And that's all the actual buffs and evolutions that were released at this point in time. So obviously, it's nice that, like, the transforming watches, their weapon assists now give 2 turns of haste as opposed to 1, and a new Zela evolution, which I think has spectacular art. Maybe I'm just a big fan for fishnets, but either way, let me know what you, ladies and gentlemen, think about these new buffs and evolutions in the comment section down below. Do you think any of these are particularly exciting? And if they are exciting, which ones did you plan to actually utilize on a more regular basis? Regardless of all that, hopefully all you lovely ladies and gentlemen out there have a truly fantastic day. I wish you the best luck in your own Pat adventures, and happy puzzling.